if you're anything like me, you may have a relationship with the Lord that looks kind of like a roller coaster. Like things are going good, you're locked in, you're seeking the Lord, you're hearing from him, you're reading your word, you're doing what it is that he called you to do. And then the next thing you know, you go through these periods of dryness where it's like, what is going on? Why am I struggling to connect with the Lord? Why am I struggling to read my word? Why am I struggling to pray? Why am I having this resistance with drawing near to God in certain seasons? If this is you, the Lord is telling you right now to draw near to him, to come back to him. Don't stay in this dry place. And there's one thing that you are going to have to address, one thing you're going to have to acknowledge if you want to get back to that mountaintop place, if you want to move forward in your faith, if you want to exit this dry season in your walk with the Lord. Here's one thing you may not have thought of that you're going to have to acknowledge and bring to the Lord before you can get out. So listen up. Now, what the Lord showed me that I am struggling with, and you probably are struggling with too, is a spirit of pride. I know. When we think of pride, we think of boastful. We think like, oh, you think you're better than everybody, or you have this inflated sense of self-importance and you're bragging. And that's what we think of when we think of pride. But that is not the only way that pride can show up. And so the Lord has really been emphasizing to me subtle pride in my walk with him that honestly, I would not have called that pride. When the Lord revealed this to me, I was just like, what? No, I'm not prideful. Not me. And you might be feeling like that too, but yes, you are struggling with pride. The Lord showed me that self-reliance is a form of pride. Being reliant on yourself, trusting in yourself more than you trust in God is pride. And I can see how that is why I'm on this like roller coaster with my faith, because when things are not going well in my life, when I am in circumstances that are beyond me, circumstances where I am just desperate for the Lord's intervention and his help and his closeness, I draw near to him. I rely on him. Like if God won't do it, it won't get done. I cry out to him in prayer. I invite him into the different areas of my life where normally I keep him out of. And so my walk with him is much better when I'm in that state of need. But when things start to look up and things start to go better, when his blessings start coming through, when his help comes through, and I get to a place where I'm comfortable now, right? I'm not in that state of desperation where I'm crying out to him and I'm just clinging on to him and relying on him. No, I start feeling like, okay, I'm good. I can take care of this. I don't need to involve the Lord. I can take care of this. I have what I need, right? I have my job. The money is coming in. I have food in the fridge. I have what I need. And if something goes wrong, I can fix it, right? That's like our initial reaction. How can I get out of this? How can I find a way out? How can I fix this? What can I do? And those are prideful thoughts. That's self-reliance. That is you relying on your own strength to get you through situations, or your own strength to just navigate through life. We feel like we don't need God, and so we don't go to him. We don't invite him into things. He kind of gets pushed out until we need him again. Of course, that's going to ruin your relationship with somebody if you only call out to them when you need them. And when things are going good, they don't hear from you. Yeah, if you resonate with that, if that is a cycle that you can acknowledge you're in your walk, that is the spirit of pride. It's kind of crazy because we actually need God for our next breath. There's never a time, there's never a moment where we don't need the Lord. But the pride tricks us into thinking we got this. We can do this. We don't need to involve the Lord. And it's not even conscious. It's unconscious. It's just how you start to move. You realize you're not as eager to get into prayer. You're not as eager to open your word. You don't need to, is how it feels in that moment. Even if you didn't think that thought, you're not desperate for it. It's not something that you're craving anymore. So yeah, I feel like that happens to a lot of us. A lot of us find ourselves in that situation where we're relying on God when we're in need, but when we're not in need, he don't hear from us. How would that make you feel if somebody was doing that to you? So it makes sense that the Lord does not respond well to that. He doesn't like that. And it says in his word that he humbles the proud and he exalts the humble. So that's how he sees it. When you're operating in a spirit of pride, it's no wonder that you're heading to another valley, because he knows that's the only place he can get a hold of your heart. That's the only place he can get you into a place of surrender and submission and reliance on him, is when you're going through. Because soon as things start looking up for you, you forget the Lord your God. You're riding high. You got this now. You don't need God. That's how it comes off when you get to that mountaintop and you start forgetting about your prayer time. You start forgetting about reading your word. You start forgetting about obeying the voice of God. And he has to bring you on back down to try to get you to be regrounded, to re-anchor you in your need for him. And once you are humble in that place, he brings a situation or allows a situation that humbles you to the point of reliance and submission to him. Then he begins to lift you again. Things start to look up again because you're involving the Lord, and the Lord, it's his good pleasure to raise up those that humble himself before him. It says it in his word. So he starts to lift you the same way he did with the Israelites. He says, when I bring you into this land, don't forget the Lord your God. What do? Forget the Lord their God. They stop listening to him. They start being rebellious. They start feeling like they don't need him. We got our other gods. We don't need this one. That's how they start treating him once they actually receive the promise. And how many of us are like that? Our hearts are postured that way as well, towards pride, when we have what we need. It's only when we're in need do we seek the Lord, do we desperately crave him. So I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to be operating in a spirit of pride where I have to come to a low point to be, locked in with the Lord, to only need him, to only want him when I need him. No, I want the Lord even on the mountaintops, even in the promised land. I want to realize my need for him is all the time. Whether I'm on the mountaintop or in the valley, I need God for my next breath. Everything that I have is because of him. It's not because of my own efforts. It's not because of my own intelligence or my own capabilities. It's because of him. And so acknowledging that and putting down pride and humbling yourself to realize you can't do this life without God. Going an entire day without praying, without acknowledging him, is crazy, because he woke you up. You couldn't even do that yourself. Your bodily functions wouldn't even operate properly if he hadn't said it so. So there's a shift in our heart posture towards the Lord that needs to happen if you're someone who is operating in the spirit of pride. If you are operating in self-reliance, you are reliant on yourself. Your trust is in yourself and what you can do, your money, your capabilities, whatever it is. It's no longer involving the Lord. Then yeah, you're going to have to either be humbled by the Lord, have a circumstance so dire that you are just clinging onto his garments, or you can humble yourself before him and acknowledge him for who he is. He is the provider. He is the protector. He is the way maker. He is the one that is sustaining. He's El Shaddai. He's sustaining your life. So cutting him out, and prayerlessness is a huge marker for pride. If you don't feel like you need to speak to God, communicate with him, invite him into things, cast your cares on him in prayer, spend time with him. If you don't want to spend time with God, you've definitely slipped into self-sufficiency, self-reliance, and pride. And it happens to me often where I'm like, it could go days and days and days where I realize, man, I haven't really spent any time with the Lord. And even once I realize that, I still don't want to do it right away. I'm like, oh, well, maybe on Sunday I could put it. Come on, guys. Like, I really realize that this is the Lord has been hammering on this with me because I fall into it so easily. The ways that he humbles me gets more and more extreme. The more that I keep falling into pride, because he cannot work with you. If you are operating in pride, the Lord cannot work with you. It says the Lord resists the proud. He cannot work with a prideful person. If you think you don't need him, if you think you're better, you know better, if you think your ways are better, if you think your plan is better, okay, you'll find out. And he'll wait for you to realize, like, oh, wait, I need God's help. I actually don't got this. He'll wait for you to realize that and humble yourself before him before he ever steps in to intervene. You want to walk away? You want to do things your own way? He'll let you do it. And then you come back crying. You cannot do this life without him. You can if you want to, but it's going to be rough. You don't even realize a lot of what you think is you is the Lord. You think you're a good driver. No, God be protecting you while you're out there on that road. You think you're just so good at your job. No, God is covering some of your mistakes. There's so many examples like that where we are taking credit for things that God is doing. And it's giving us this false sense of confidence in ourselves, this false sense of self-sufficiency that you alone can manage your finances. You alone can manage your business. You alone can manage your family. No, you cannot. And if God removes his hand, you'll see very quickly when things start to fall apart. That's when you try to invite him in again. So don't push God out with the spirit of pride. Repent from pride, surrender to the Lord, humble yourself before him, and start praying again. Start setting aside intentional time. Whether you feel a need or a craving to be in the Lord's presence or not, create a rhythm of going before God, because you don't know what's ahead of you that day. God does. You don't know what prayers you're going to need to cover you. You don't know what you're going to need to invite him into, but he does. So we have to continue to make out time for him, even if things are going well, even if things are smooth, there's nothing going on. You're just going through your regular routine and really you feel like you could do it all yourselves. Don't be deceived. That's the spirit of pride. Things can change like that. And then you're using God. You don't even want him. You only want him when you need him. That's using. You know how it feels when people only care to be around you and talk to you and hit you up when they want something. You know how that feels. It's a horrible feeling to realize that someone is using you. Is that how you want God to feel? No. So don't pull away from him just because it seems like things are going well, just because you think you got it. No. Stay close to him. So if this is an area where you know that you need the Lord to help you and to give you more understanding of, I just pray that you would take it to him in prayer. And I also have made a 7-day devotional that's going to be linked in the bio. It's 7 days to draw near to the Lord. And if you are someone who is battling with prayerlessness, you're not seeking the voice of the Lord, you're not seeking his input in your life, this is really going to help you. It's a great jumping off point and a starting point for you to start to set aside time to pray, to listen. Every day there's a Bible verse that you can meditate on. There's a devotional writing as well as journal prompts for you to just sit with the Lord and be honest and vulnerable about where you are in your walk. And then there's guided prayers as well, so that you can start to invite the Lord into those conversations and allow him to speak to you and minister to you about that area. Posturing your heart to seek God is the very first step. And this devotional will help you do that. So it's 100% free. You can go to the link that I have down below and download it. I pray that it really does impact you and help you. I co-created it with the Lord, so I know some of it is definitely going to resonate with you if you are struggling in this area like I am struggling. But it's time. It's time for us to fix our affections. So go to the link below. Check out the devotional. Also, send this video to a friend that you know may be struggling with the exact same thing. And I have more videos on fixing your affections coming up. So if this was helpful for you, definitely hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.